Welcome back, everybody! Happy 6th of July. In case you don't live in Southern California or you don't have the news or you just haven't watched it yet, on the 4th of July, we had the largest earthquake in the past 20 years hit Southern California. It was 6.4 up around the Northridge area until yesterday. We had a 6.9, which you know what a 6.9 is. That's a 69 interrupted by a period. And then it was upgraded to a 7.1, I guess. So 7.1. So we had two. That's good size. Like, I don't care who you are. In Southern California, you don't even get out of bed unless it's at least like a 5.0. You're like, I'm like, whatever. I'm not even gonna. I'll pick that up in the morning when it falls off your nightstand. You're like, whatever. But holy cow, 6.4 and then a 7.1. Those are big earthquakes. So it reminded me. I've been meaning to do a video for a while of this get home gear that I have that I keep in my work van. Not so much in my personal truck, just because I don't drive my personal truck that often, and when I do, it's usually to see Batman. So I mean, I keep a really good high-end My Medic first aid kit in my personal truck because I figure, I'm never more than 10, maybe 15 miles from home. So I know it's like, if I can't ride my horse to my house, if like there was like a big ass 7.1 earthquake and the roads got all crumbled and I couldn't make it home for whatever reason with my truck, at least I know I can grab my first aid kit, I can grab, my cooler, and I can make it the 10 or 15 miles, whatever. But if I'm ever going to be more than 20 miles away from my house, I always keep my my get home gear. I'll do a review on that. It's got a couple quarts of water, first aid kit, a couple other things in it, a little bit of food, enough. Because some days I'll work like 60 miles from home, and if you've ever walked more than a couple of miles, you're 60 miles from home. That's going to take you probably a day or two to get home. Nobody's walking 60 miles in a day. In the Marine Corps, we'd walk 25 miles in a day, and your feet would be destroyed. And we were used to walking or humping, as we called it, and running all the time. So I can't imagine a 47-year-old man trying to make it home 60 miles. Like, ain't happening in one day. So probably ain't happening in 2 days. I'll probably walk like 4 miles the first day and be like, all right, we're gonna camp out here because I got food and water and shelter, and I'm like, that's enough walking for me. Woo, Lord, feet is hurting. Oh, I was telling my buddies at work about that. This one guy that was in the Marines, idiot, and went on a hump at 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's dark and it was cold, and this friggin' idiot, we'd walk for an hour, which was usually about 3 miles, and then you pause, you take a 10-minute break, then you walk another hour, which is usually another 3 miles, then you stop and take a break. So round about the 4th or 5th stop, around mile 12 or 15, this idiot, and it's been daylight for the last probably 2 or 3 stops, idiot looks down at his shoes, his boots, and realizes that he got them on he's like, oh, that's why my foot was hurting. My boots are on the wrong foot. It's okay. Okay, idiot. Even if how the hell do you walk 12 miles with your boots on the wrong feet? These are the people protecting your country, ladies and gentlemen. Only the best and brightest for y'all. But Anyway, so yeah, in Southern California especially, you guys have to be earthquake prepared. I know they used to drill it into our heads all the time, but it's like, hey, make sure that you have a couple days worth of water. You know, maybe 10 gallons. You should have those little, extra things around your house anyway. Like the Sparklets bottles. Have a couple of those jugs around. That's the other thing too. I was like, that's why I had no sympathy for those government people when the government was shut down for like 60 days, and these people are like, I'm out of food. It's like, dude, if you don't have it in your house, you don't have at least 2 months worth of food in your house, you're doing something wrong. You don't have SpaghettiOs or Spam on the shelf. Come on. So anyway, just have extra food, have extra water. And so people that live in like tornado zones and like in the Midwest and the South, they get it. Most of those folks are pretty stocked up. They're like, hey, tornado can come and wipe out the roads, and you just gotta survive off of what you got in the cupboards for a couple weeks, and whatever water's in your water heater. Remember that. I mean, that's a good source of water. If you're ever trapped inside your house, you got water in the water heater. Hopefully you have a barbecue in your backyard. You can boil water if you have to. You can cook food on that. You don't have to use your stove. Make sure that you have a shut-off thing next to your gas valve outside. Make sure you know where the hell your gas shut-off is. I mean, they had 3 or 4 houses burn up, more than likely because the gas main broke and found a source of ignition. And people, hey, Southern California, we get earthquakes, folks. So know where your gas shut-off valve is for your house. Make sure that you have at least, enough water to last you a week. Just say a gallon per person per day. That's nothing. I mean, 7 gallons per person. Shoot, you don't even probably need that much, but still. Better to be a little bit over prepared than a little bit under. Better to have it and not need it. Anyway, I hope all the folks up there in Ridgecrest are doing okay. So far there have been no fatalities, which is it's crazy insane that we had a 7.1 earthquake in Southern California and nobody died. I mean, geez, you think that the shaking alone would have given somebody a heart attack. I was sitting in my house, and I live in a 2-story house. I was up on the second floor listening to Bruno Mars, do 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 do, uptown, funk you up, and the whole house is like rocking side to side, and I'm like, uptown, funk you up, uptown, funk you up, what, uptown, and then it was going for like a full minute, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, it's going to the beat, and I like it, but I'm like, if this shit gets crazier, then I'm gonna have to get the hell out of the house. Well, luckily it stopped, and then there were a shitload of aftershocks. So anyway, be earthquake prepared, and I'll chat with you later. Bye.